If you're watching this right now, you're about to make one of the biggest financial decisions of your life. You're moving your family across the country to Dallas, and you've probably already made at least one of these three mistakes that I'm about to tell you about today. I know this because I've watched hundreds of families make this exact move, and I made sure to avoid these mistakes when I was relocating my family from South Florida right here to Prosper, Texas in 2022. Now, I'm not trying to scare you out of this move. This is one of the best decisions that I've ever made for my family, but there are three specific mistakes that I see out-of-state buyers make over and over and over again, and each one of them can cost you thousands of dollars. It can cost you months of your life, or even worse, the wrong home in the wrong suburb for your family. You don't want to bring your kids halfway across the United States and make these mistakes. By the end of the video, you're going to know exactly what those three mistakes are, exactly how to avoid these mistakes, and exactly what your next step should be. But before we get into mistake number one, if you are seriously considering pulling the trigger on this move within the next 90 days, you need to be talking to me before you talk to anyone else. My calendar link is in the description, or you can scan the QR code that's on the screen. It's a free 20 to 30 minute call. That's it. No pressure at all. No sales pitch, just a real conversation about what your situation looks like. Mistake number one, and this is the one that costs families the most headache, which is picking your suburb before you understand what your actual lifestyle is going to look like right here in Texas. I call this the relocation blind spot. And here's what happens. You get on Zillow, you Google the best suburbs in Dallas, you see the name Frisco. You've heard the name Frisco before because your cousin relocated here in 2019. So Frisco becomes your target, but you have not actually asked yourself the questions that actually matter. Like, where's your job going to be located? What the commute is going to look like from Frisco versus Prosper versus McKinney? Do you actually need a walkable community with a downtown vibe, or a master plan community with amenities? Do your kids need neighborhood amenities with sports? Because that changes which suburbs actually make sense for your family. I've seen families move to the city of Frisco because they've heard of this city before that should have actually moved to McKinney, and they would have had a better experience. I've seen families move to Prosper who should have been in Salina, and I've seen families move all the way to Anna who should have been in the city of Princeton. They could have afforded a heck of a lot more home, and the community feel would have matched with what they were looking for. The suburb that you pick is not about which one is the quote unquote best. It's about the one that fits your actual lifestyle. Most out-of-state buyers don't figure this out until they've already closed on the house. That's your relocation blind spot, and that's the number one reason that I see people relist their homes within the first 18 months. Real quick, I gotta jump in here for just a second because my inbox is currently full of people from California, New York, and Chicago, all asking the same exact question. Are the neighborhoods in Frisco, Prosper, McKinney, and Plano as good as they look on Zillow? Look, I completely get it. Moving to Dallas is not just about finding the right house, it's about finding the right lifestyle. I'm literally on the phone every single day helping families navigate everything from the school districts in Frisco all the way down to the best commute times into downtown Dallas or into Plano. Whether you're 9 days away from moving or 9 months out, my team and I specialize in being your boots on the ground right here in Dallas-Fort Worth. We do the video tours, we check the neighborhood vibe, and we handle all of the headaches so you don't have to. If you're even thinking about making the move to Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, do yourself a favor, shoot me over a text message or give me a call, grab a spot on my calendar, scan the QR code to do so. Let's make your move to Texas an actual win. All right, I'm done. Let's get back to the video. Now, moving on to mistake number two, and this one is a silent killer. This is getting pre-approved by your lender back home from wherever you're moving from. I know your lender in California or Florida or New York is a great person, and I know they've done your last two mortgages. I get it. They know you, but they don't know Texas. They don't know Texas builders. They don't know the timelines. They don't know how Texas title works. They also don't know the state-specific incentives, and they definitely do not know how to close close a Texas transaction on a compressed out-of-state timeline. And here's what happens when you use an out-of-state lender. Your closing takes 45 to 60 days instead of 30 days, or you end up losing out on your dream home to a buyer that has a Texas lender who can close the deal extremely fast. Or here's one, you get hit with unexpected fees that you did not budget for. And in the worst case scenario, you show up the closing and your funds are not wired correctly because your lender did not know the Texas escrow requirements. I've watched families lose out on their dream home because they were loyal to a lender who could not compete with the Texas timelines. The fix is simple. Use a lender who specializes in Texas out-of-state buyers. I know a couple that I trust and I connect my clients with them at no cost. But even if you don't use my lenders, please use someone who does this in Texas every single week. I know some of you have been watching my videos for a while. You've seen the Princeton content. You've watched the Frisco versus the Prosper content. You've watched me tour these homes in Salina and McKinney, and you know I know this market. And you still have not reached out to me yet. I want to say this directly to you. Every single week, I get on calls with families that tell me the same exact thing. I wish I would have reached out to you 3 months ago. Don't be that person telling me that. Book the call. It is absolutely free. It's 20 minutes, and it might be the single most important 20-minute conversation that you have this year. Now, mistake number 3, and this is the one that determines whether the first 2 mistakes even happen, and that is working with a real estate agent who does not specialize in out-of-state relocations. Most agents in Dallas are not equipped to handle an out-of-state relocation, not because they're bad real estate agents. Some of them are great agents with local buyers, but an out-of-state relocation is a completely different animal. You need someone who can FaceTime you through a home while you're still in Miami or LA, someone who knows how to run a remote closing so you don't have to fly in here multiple times, someone who actually understands the Texas contract differences that matter when you're used to California or Florida contracts, someone who actually knows how to negotiate with the specific builders in the specific suburbs that you are targeting, and most importantly, someone who's actually done this move themselves, because there's a level of empathy and understanding that only comes from having lived this out yourself. And mostly every family that I've worked with have moved here from out of state. This is not my side business. This is my entire business. I built my whole operation around families just like yours. If you're watching this channel and you don't have a realtor yet, I'm your realtor. Here's what you need to do right now, because I only take a limited number of out-of-state relocation clients every single month. That's just the reality of doing this the right way. And if you hear anyone say that they're taking 30 to 40 relocation clients every single month, you know things are falling through the crack when working with them. If you are serious about making this move within the next 90 days, you need to book a call with me this week, not next month, not when the kids are out of school, this week. The link is in the description. You can book a free 20-minute call with me. On that call, we're going to talk about your family, your budget, your timeline, and your target suburbs, the areas that you are most interested in and the areas that your family is going to thrive in. And by the end of that call, you're actually going to walk away with more clarity about this move than you've had this entire time that you've been thinking about moving to Texas and doing your research. That is a promise. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. If this video hits for you, leave a comment. Let me know which mistake you were about to make. Let me know where you're watching this from, where you're relocating from. If you have a family member or a friend that's about to move to Dallas, send them this video, because this is going to save them a huge headache. Book the call. The link is in the description. I'll see you right here in the great state of Texas. God bless.